Two teams just on the outside of the playoff picture looking in are set for action as North Carolina Courage welcome Angel City FC to WakeMed Soccer Park in Cary, North Carolina. A critical fixture on this Wednesday night. This is the NWSL Live on Twitch. Hi, everybody. Happy to have you with us. John Gross alongside Ken LaVicka. Should be a fun matchup tonight between these two sides that have not played since the opening weekend of the regular season, Ken.
Yeah, and North Carolina, a much different side now than they were at that point. Got off to such a rough start to the campaign, but they really have rallied, and they have played their best football of the season over the last 3 weeks or so, including becoming a dominant side at home.
Yeah, they've been phenomenal at home, and they remain home today against an Angel City side who enter unbeaten in their last 5 matchups, including 4 straight unbeaten on the road. So, again, should be an interesting matchup. We'll get a look at these lineups between these two sides. North Carolina at 6-7-4 on the season. Angel City at 7-5-5 on the campaign. And, again, this is a critical fixture for both of these teams. Ken, will start with the home side, North Carolina Courage.
Not many changes from what was arguably the most complete effort of the season for North Carolina, that 5-1 thrashing of Racing Louisville. The only change to the starting 11 is Ryan Williams playing right back tonight. This is a side that has been able to generate goals. They have scored 12 in their last 3 home matches, so why mess with a good thing? And North Carolina is going to go with this 11 tonight, trying to keep pace and pull to within 1 of Angel City in the table just outside that playoff picture.
Courage lead the league in goals per match at 2.2 per fixture. And on the flip side, an Angel City side, they are just below the playoff line. And this is a crucial stretch for them as well. Bit of a different look tactically, 4-3-3 for Freya Coombe squad.
Yeah, you've got Clarice Lebihan at the top of the formation tonight. Part of the collection of forwards for Angel City, was not part of the 11 in the 1-1 draw that they played just a couple of nights ago. Also, Tyler Lucy in at right back tonight for Angel City. Jasmine Spence, who played there just a few nights back, she is available as a substitute tonight, though. Angel City trying to, with a victory, push itself into the playoff window.
Well, we talk about that playoff line. Let's take a look at the NWSL standings entering tonight. Now, this match is one of 2 matches, both matches of critical importance for the playoff table.
Yeah, absolutely. And there you see 7th in the table, Angel City. 6 is that cutoff line, so you catapult over Chicago. But as you mentioned, Chicago is in action tonight, taking on the team at the top of the table, Kansas City. This is where, for North Carolina, you drop any points the rest of the way with a handful of matches left, and it turns into a very dangerous situation. 3 points every time out now is of the essence. You're paying for your slow start to the season, but the fact that after that North Carolina is even in this position is something to truly treasure from them, and they could make things real interesting and have Angel City looking back over its shoulder with a massive matchup against San Diego upcoming this weekend.
A win for Angel City would put them above the playoff line. North Carolina Courage would remain in the 8th spot, but like you said, points are at a premium for them. There really is no hotter team. I guess maybe you could say Kansas City at this point of the season. But North Carolina Courage, like you said, they have turned things around at an absolute dime, unbeaten 7 of their last 9 matches, just 1 loss in their last 5.
Yeah, and that came to the table toppers in the NWSL, Kansas City. But when you look at North Carolina, they're outscoring their opponents in this 3-match home run that they've had, 12 goals to 2. It has not just been getting results, it's been getting overwhelming confidence-boosting results as well. And with a team coming 3,000 miles to you tonight, you've got to hang on and protect home turf.
Well, you talk about this home turf success. It's been a historic run at home. North Carolina have scored 3+ goals in 6 straight home matches. That is the longest streak in NWSL history. So away we go. It's Angel City in the whites and pinks, and North Carolina Courage in the blue kits as we welcome you in to beautiful Cary, North Carolina. John Gross, Ken LaVicka, for a matchup of 2 teams just on the outside of the playoff line. Our match referee is Alex Billiter. Our ARs, Noah Kenyawani and Jordan Davis, and our 4th official is John Mato.
Already an early foul, Angel City trying to set a tone, a physical tone. And how about Angel City? We talk about the success as of late of North Carolina, and we'll take another look a bit clunky along the touchline at the onset, drawing the whistle, Megan Reed. But this Angel City side has been beset by so many injuries to so many key contributors who were believed to be able to play such a massive part of what Angel City was going to be, whether it be Sydney Leroux, whether it be Kristen Press. And it's just never formulated to have all the star power there at one time, and now they're in a stretch of 5 straight unbeaten in the most pivotal part of the season. That's something to behold.
Emsley wiggles her way free inside the 18, and her feed towards Endo is redirected out for an early Angel City corner kick in just the 2nd minute.
Claire Emsley already starting to look dangerous, and then delivered a ball into the middle where all Fuka could do was send it across the end line, and it leads to our first set piece of the night. Angel City already on the front foot.
In swinging ball, flutters just beyond the 6. And out North Carolina, a golden chance to counter. It is Fuka who rolls it ahead. Caroline, who had a brace last time out, one-on-one with Haracic, just wide. Disbelief by the Brazilian.
Caroline, you can see hands on head. That was a clinic in counter football. What a ball forward, right on the beat to Caroline. She has 3 steps on the nearest defender, and there was a touch there. That is a save for Haracic, who in a similar situation in the 1-1 draw against Houston came up with a save. Up for the NWSL save of the week. She's able to push one wide, 1v1.
Lofted ball in from Pickett, and it's Haracic again who gets a hand on it. Directs out to Fuka, who loops it towards the back post. Comes out to Carson Pickett. Pickett reloads, whips it across, finds ahead, ball stays in front. Pinto tries to turn it on frame. It's directed off the end line by Reed. And a frantic couple of minutes, but no goals to show for North Carolina.
I liked Pinto's fight amongst traffic. Not the tallest player as bodies were descending upon Haracic's goal, but fought to make Haracic have to think about it and come out to play the ball.
Well, a couple of quality chances for North Carolina, and this is a sign that they've had no issue burying balls as of late. We talked about it before. They lead the league in goals, and you'd be hard-pressed to find a player who's in better form right now than Caroline, who just nearly missed. Had a brace and 2 assists, the 2nd player to do that this season. Just the 5th player in NWSL history with a brace and 2 assists in a single match.
Well, the proof that she is in confident form, too, is, yes, the numbers obviously show that, but the way she was able to collect that pass onto her feet, bracketed by 2 defenders, and then race right through them and right by them. She is going to rue the fact she wasn't able to finish. Didi Haracic is one of the finest keepers in this league and made an excellent save. But now, if you're North Carolina, you have Angel City thinking, hey, they're going to get out on the run. They're going to try and push it, and that changes the entire approach.
You mentioned Haracic in the midst of arguably her best season as a pro. 4 clean sheets in the season, that a single season best for her. How about that from Caroline? And she is upended by Lucy, and we will see a very early booking. So the impact of the 22-year-old Brazilian, Caroline, on full display in the first 5 minutes, Ken.
Already seeing fireworks. Caroline is putting on a show. It is just beautiful to watch. That back heel, and Tyler Lucy completely flat-footed. You'll see this again. One-touch spin, and then Lucy overcommitted. That is a rightful yellow as she impeded the progress, impeded the path of Caroline. That is wonderful footballing.
Elevated ball from Pickett. And booted outside of the 18, but fairly unconvincingly. There's Stebinia, who also had a brace in that 5-1 thrashing against Racing Louisville over the weekend. If you look at that one, it's probably their most complete performance. That's something that Sean Nahas echoed as well. Dominance really in all facets of that one.
Without question. And the problem this season for North Carolina has not been finding the back of the net. It has not been scoring goals. It has been, where's the consistency on the defensive side? And that has finally, over the last month, started to come to fruition, and that is what has led. More than the goal scoring, that's what's led to North Carolina's surge, where they're at least nipping at the heels of a playoff position.
Sullivan, Ordonez, talk about an impact player. And he has set the single-season rookie goal record with now 11.
Debinha, for my money, she is a top 5 electric player in NWSL. Love to watch her handle, love to watch her attack goal and create. And she is coming on at the right time. Her and Caroline along that left side, ultra dangerous for this North Carolina 11.
Yeah, I asked Sean Nahas about that Brazilian duo. He said it's just their soccer brains. They are so smart. You surround them with the talent that they have on this roster, you have something special.
And there's a belief there with those two, where they're on the pitch together, and you can put a collection around them that they're going to be able to maximize, and that makes you feel very good about the way that they're playing right now.
Left wide to Cataline, in stride. Stossel back to retrieve. Well-placed ball for Pickett with some space to work with. Pickett lets it rip towards the back post. Finds the head of Cataline, who continues to find herself in dangerous areas. And it's been 7.5 minutes of dominance by North Carolina.
The spacing is absolutely excellent right now for North Carolina. The vision, the movement. You start on the right side, you work it all the way to the left on the wing. That ball from Pickett, it's well struck, just a bit too tall for Caroline, but you love the idea. Good back post play.
Emsley races after it. Offside flag stays down. Emsley turned away. What a save by Casey Murphy. 2 stellar stops by both keepers to keep things level.
That's what happens when you don't account for Claire Emsley. She sneaks behind you. She's got the speed to maneuver in on goal, and that was wonderfully done by Casey Murphy. As she came out, was able to cut off the angle and able to use her left leg to strike it away.
The second corner kick in the early goings for Angel City. This one comes out to Endo. Volleys ahead. Headed back to the middle. Turning attempt from Riley is worked out of danger.
Both sides, there is some precision passing happening right now. For North Carolina, it's been more spread. There's been better movement, but right there for Angel City, that was close quarters accurate passing, and it was the right decision to send it to the middle, just not struck well. But you had mentioned 7 minutes of dominance from North Carolina. Now, finally, after weathering the storm, it seems like Angel City's starting to settle in here.
Weatherholtz. Lebiant taps for Endo. Slips it back to Lebiant, who could not maintain possession. Second meeting of the season between these two sides. It was a 2-1 win for Angel City back in the opening weekend of the regular season. But as we talked about before, these two very different teams from that early season affair.
You know, one team in Angel City that just looks completely different. A lot of contributors that maybe they anticipated wouldn't need to contribute for them at this point. And as for North Carolina, they've completely figured themselves out compared to where they were earlier in the year.
Cascoll was making a streaking run. Comes out to Carrie Riccaro, who's become a goal-scoring machine this season. Weatherholt loops it, looking for Lucy. And it trickles out for a Courage throw-in. There is Tyler Lucy, who has a yellow card already. High press from Angel City. Nearly results in a takeaway. And it is a turnover.
Angel Angel City is starting to press the action a bit here, and they're starting to pressure the ball, and positive things are happening. I think the more aggressive they are, the more physical they are, that's going to be the way that you neutralize a North Carolina side that wants to get out and fly on the ball. You may have to take a couple of fouls to slow things down a little bit.
Well, on cue, Angel City just draw a foul courtesy of Brianna Pinto. Angel City unbeaten in its last 5 matches. They do have a fairly favorable slate, albeit very challenging, but including today, all 5 of their final 5 matches this year are set to come against teams that Angel City beat earlier this season. But again, not easy. San Diego on that list. This is certainly a challenge tonight. As Freya Coombe looks on, what a job she's done. Year 1 of an expansion team. And an opportunity for a side to make history. Would be the first ever expansion team to make the postseason.
Well, there's a reason that Freya Coombe was an extremely sensible option for this side. And let's face it, when Angel City was created, there's automatically going to be expectations based on the location, based on the personnel. You needed someone that could balance the veterans and the young players and build something. We know Freya Coombe can build, and withstanding all these injuries, you need someone who's been there, done that, and she's masterfully been able to navigate her way and this team's way through those storms.
Quick toss for LeBihan. Emsley shovels it out. Recaro now. Centering feed takes a deflection. Caskell could not settle.
So now that things have slowed a bit, it's become clear tactically what both sides are going to try and do, and this is almost potentially an ugly giveaway there. But from North Carolina's standpoint, you look at how spread everyone is. They want to try and really stretch Angel City. As for Angel City, they prefer to work up the middle channel and use their physical brand a bit to try and dictate the tempo. But here we go again. Excellent, excellent movement.
Very heavy feed, and it did come off of Lucy, who probably should have just let that go out for a goal kick. Instead, it's a corner.
Yeah, I'm not sure Lucy really knew exactly where she was on the pitch or how close she was to the end line there, and I understand wanting to make sure that you're seeing through to the end of the play, but that did seem a bit unnecessary. And you end up conceding a corner, a set piece that probably shouldn't have been.
Second corner kick of this first half for North Carolina. No trouble for Angel City. And a crunching tackle from Emsley. And that was stern talking to from Alex Billiter. Remember, we saw a yellow card issued earlier in this first half against Tyler Lucy.
Now, Emsley's going to get a warning, no card. I do think that that's because Emsley, well, she is coming from behind. Yeah, she came around the front side. If she comes and makes contact with the back of the heel, perhaps that is a card. She was able to get onto that ball fairly quickly. I think it's a rightful no card, but I do think that the warning sensible, and next time an occasion like that happens, it is a card. But I agree with the decision not to show a yellow.
Ball in from Pickett. And no trouble as Lucy is able to jar it out of there. Cataline has been active on both flanks. What a ball ahead. And Hadacich has to race all the way off her line to scoop it up. Cataline, oh, she is special.
Yeah, the weight on that ball was expert level, and she's trying to pick out a player who is very much in the golden boot race in the NWSL. You got to give credit to Megan Reed, playing center back tonight for Angel City. She was on the hip of Ordonez the entire time, didn't allow Ordonez to get a step, and that is what ended that opportunity for North Carolina. Outstanding defensive work. It's the work that was put in before the ball arrived that had Megan Reed in a position to succeed.
And this back four will most certainly have their hands full with such a dangerous grouping up front. Debinha, Caroline, and of course Ordonez, who her goal-scoring production has tapered off a bit as of late, but it's been tremendous all season regardless, as Endo slaps it ahead towards Emsley. Recaro gets it back. The former North Carolina Courage player leaves it for McCaskill. Emsley, how about that bit of skill? Not one, but two defenders left to the dust. And Williams, all she could do is angle it out for a throw.
Emsley has always had 1v1 abilities, but she has truly found herself at Angel City. She had the spell with Orlando City after coming out of college at Florida Atlantic, and she had the ability to succeed at this level, but the way she's coming to her own, and I truly believe that her establishing herself with the Scottish national team has helped the confidence. She has grown as a player and truly has become a go-to attacker in this league. It's been impressive over the last 2 years just to see her growth and how she's elevated as a player.
Yeah, she was the second pick of the 2022 expansion draft. Was brought in officially on July 7th and has started the last 5 matches. And for good reason, a couple of goals as Emsley leaves it back for Endo, who has that ball on a string. Endo slips it for McCaskill. Recaro, quick touch ahead. Levion tips on. It's McCaskill who goes down. No whistle, much to the dismay of Angel City.
Yeah, and I think McCaskill has an argument here, because just because the defender falls and doesn't purposely make contact doesn't mean that you don't point to the spot. Well, look at this again. Made through Endo. There's the contact, the tripping and the falling. Brianna Pinto had all sorts of issues there. And look, there's a roll-up on the back of the leg of Savannah McCaskill. I'm actually surprised that that does not turn into a penalty.
Pinto was shaken up momentarily, but back on her feet. Cataline rolls through towards Williams, and it's sniffed out well. Nielsen in a precarious spot, but she is able to win a goal kick for her side.
What didn't help in that last sequence for North Carolina is Abby Erceg completely misplayed that ball. And Endo making herself active, I think, is what forced Erceg to commit early to trying to clear that ball, and ended up falling onto the feet of McCaskill. That was near disaster for North Carolina. I still think probably should have been a penalty.
Emsley, heavy touch, falls to the feet of O'Sullivan.
I love the way Pickett plays. She is always on the ball. She is always trying to frustrate the opponent. It was a heavy touch by Emsley, but it's because Pickett was right on her waist and forced her to make a decision quicker than she wanted to.
Yeah, tough to find a player who's better on set pieces as well.
She can whip in across, absolutely.
There is the aforementioned Pickett, and how about that ball? In stride to Debinha. Options for Debinha, pops it to the middle, and a throw-in on the way for North Carolina.
For Debinha, that was more of a cross and pray. She didn't have the numbers like she wanted, but it does lead to a deep third, attacking third throw-in.
Once more, Debinha. What a ball for Pickett. And the offside flag was raised.
That was close. Pickett just a step offside. But man, the passing, the distribution from North Carolina. This is why they've been on the successful run this spell as of late is because they're able to pick each other out on this pitch. They really stretch defenses thin, and Angel City's had to work for it through the first 21 minutes.
You just got to look at Sean Nahas in his first full season as the man in charge for North Carolina. He was quick to point out that they have 16 to 18 new players in this roster. That's like an expansion team.
Yes.
And it takes some time to work all those pieces together, but that was the key word. They're putting everything together. They're playing free. They're trusting their roles, and the results have now been there. Debinha back to Ordonez. Those two have been dynamite this season for North Carolina. Ordonez to the middle, and just out of the reach of the aforementioned Debinha.
Well, I think there's a little bit of shock right now between Fuka and Debinha as it split the uprights at the top of the area. I think that there was a thought that maybe Ordonez was just going to take the tough angled shot and instead distribute it to the middle, and neither were quite ready.
Pickett tries to find a surging Ordonez. Endo looks to lead a counter. And not much of a threat there off the foot of June Endo, who has been such a critical piece. And they've utilized Endo in so many different roles this season. And she's one of those players where it seems like if you get her involved, you will find success on the attacking end.
That's a good point. And she's willing to play those roles as well. If you want her to play in the midfield, fine. If you need her to be a forward, oh, that was real dangerous right there.
Debinha able to control that first touch.
But back to Endo. If you need her to play along the back line, she'll do that as well. She'll sweep for you. And that's where you have a manager like Freya Coombe, who you see the bottom of your screen, that can maximize these players, can help them buy in. And June Endo has been the complete blueprint of a versatile player that has helped Angel City to potentially, with a victory tonight, a side that's going to head into the playoff window in the NWSL.
A lot of space to work with in this right flank. Williams surges ahead. Taps it wide for Cataline. And a bit too heavy in the feed. Speaking of June Endo, Endo's lone goal this season came against North Carolina Courage back on April 29th in the regular season opener. And of course, this was the Courage side who won the 2022 Challenge Cup. And you could factor that in as well as a reason for some of those early struggles, perhaps tired legs.
Sure.
A major workload compared to most teams entering the regular season.
It is worth it, though, to have hardware. It is worth it to own a trophy. And so, Sean Nahas, he has done well to sort of recalibrate this club. Probably took him a little longer than he would have liked, but finally back to what helped them win the Challenge Cup. And you see, this side is completely bought into the style of play. I mean, you just look at the speed, you look at how they attack the flanks, and you look at how they go right to left to right. That is his vision.
Launch ball from Pickett in the area of Cataline, who now is able to control. Cataline, one-on-one on Riley, and she's won her side of corner.
That is very good. That is superior talent right there. So strong on the ball, so creative, knows that maybe this isn't a primary scoring opportunity for us, but I can win us a set piece. Easy as that.
That's such a mature play, too. She's 22 years old, and Sean Nahas, as he put it, quote, she's still a baby. We have to remember that, but just chock full of skill.
She's still in the toddler part of her career right now.
Absolutely. Brazilian player who previously played for Madrid in Spain and has made a major impact in North Carolina as Pickett stands over it from the corner flag. In swinging ball, headed out towards Debinha. Works it centrally. Falls to the foot of Pinto, who shovels it out. Fuka, back heel, one-handed save from Hadicic. Tremendous build-up, but a better save
The buildup was a masterpiece. The save was a masterpiece. You cannot argue with that. Look at this back heel. This is so good, and it is put right on the feet. Well, Sullivan, again, Haracic. She read it the entire way. She's able to see through her tunnel vision. That's the sign of a good keeper and the reaction time expert.
Again, an in-swinging ball from the corner. Headed back towards the middle and tapped just over the crossbar by Ordonez.
Well, you want to know how Diana Ordonez has tallied 11 goals this season? It's by knowing where to be, by reading the play and understanding where to position herself. A bit too tall on this, but look at her. She's on the back post. She sees the header is coming, knows it's going to be a flick on, and just put it a bit too tall. But that's a goal scorer mentality right there. Where do I need to be? I'm going to place my body exactly where I see the ball developing, and that's what happened there.
Diana Ordonez in the midst of an all-time season for a rookie. Nearly buried her 12th. As Murphy lets it roll inside the 18.
And the ebbs and flows of this opening half.
Seriously.
Just when you think Angel City finally has things under control, they had a nice spell of possession. North Carolina's come flying back with their fluid style of attack. And it's really the set pieces and the deliveries that set apart North Carolina, at least tonight, the attacking identity compared to that of Angel City. North Carolina just precision passing, and you feel like the scoreline should reflect them on top.
How about this from Emsley? We've seen her one-on-one skill in full display tonight. Hey, you mentioned that scoreline. It's 0-0. It could just as easily be 2-1 or even 2-2.
Yeah. Angel City has had, though not as much of the ball, obviously, they have had their outstanding opportunities. You're exactly right.
Numbers surge inside the 18. Ross pops out to Endo. Recaro. Pinto jockeys and wins it back for North Carolina.
A bit too much movement of the ball within a 10 to 12 yard area, and finally it was Pinto who came up. She read it the entire way and is able to body the ball away and win it back for North Carolina. For Angel City, this is such a pivotal portion of this season, obviously, because you're in a playoff race like North Carolina is, but you're all the way out here in Cary, trying to take care of business, a challenging road result you're looking for, and then you head back to Southern California this weekend for what is going to be a massive crowd, taking on San Diego. It could end up being the largest crowd in NWSL history with major playoff implications. This is where you've got to be mentally strong if you're Angel City.
Casco's back heel attempt intercepted, but Recaro able to claim it back for Angel City. It's the second of a 3-match road trip, and all three have them crisscrossing the country. Houston over the weekend, a 1-1 draw tonight on the East Coast in Cary, and then, as you said, Ken, back out west in a hostile environment in San Diego. They do return home next Wednesday against Washington Spirit, a Washington side who, if Angel City win and Chicago win, Washington will be eliminated from playoff contention.
Starting to sort out who's still surviving, who still has a chance, and then whose season is about to come to an end. North Carolina with a victory here tonight. If they're able to get all 3 points, they are very much still alive here in this playoff chase.
And so far, only 2 sides have been eliminated from contention in Gotham and Racing Louisville, with Racing Louisville's loss against North Carolina Courage. But hey, you look at Angel City, they enter today in 7th place. They're just 6 points back of 1st place.
You have to love that. It makes for a frantic finish to this regular season.
Lucy, nearly taken off the ball. Both teams pointing in their respective directions. call from Alex Billeter upsets the Courage faithful here in Cary.
What I find so interesting is that Challenge Cups have definitely not necessarily been indicative of what a side is going to be in the regular season in the NWSL. And I think that it's a fantastic addition to the league to play the Challenge Cup, and I also think that I love seeing how teams reset themselves after that and either redirect or figure out what went wrong and then apply it to the regular season. And it's on full display again here in 2022. Just now have we started to see the North Carolina that we saw months and months and months ago in the Challenge Cup.
They were unbeaten in their Challenge Cup run, 5-0-3. In that run, Debinha claimed the Budweiser Tournament MVP. It's a side that has had historically a lot of success in this league. Looking to get back to the postseason.
No shortage of trophies with North Carolina.
And it's a pretty packed trophy shelf that they have down there in Cary.
And you do get the sense they've got a nice young core here in Cary to work with. There's June Endo again, just coming out of nowhere to win a ball for her side. You've got to love the effort that she gives. Does whatever's asked of her. She'll do the dirty work. She can play gracefully. She's fun to watch.
Williams, Green to work with. Pickett. A rare mistake and a feed from Carson Pickett.
Part of that is Angel City was not going to allow itself to get caught on the flanks like it has a couple of times here tonight. They spread themselves out, and they give up the middle, anticipating that North Carolina is going to continue to try and attack the edges, and it worked there. A little bit of pressure applied to Pickett, and she turned it over.
Riley quickly on the throw-in, gets it right back. Riley works centrally for Lebion. Recaro slices through traffic. Recaro lets it rip, and Murphy has another save.
A bit ambitious there for Recaro, but she had it on her dominant foot. And, well, it might look like a pedestrian save for Casey Murphy from distance. She certainly saw it the entire way. That was dipping and doing so at a rapid rate, and she did the right thing playing it before it could take a short hop. That's where catastrophes happen, when you allow a ball to take a short hop, especially when it was hit flat like it was by Recaro. That is good awareness by Murphy. You know what? I got to come up, make a touch on this before it crosses me up.
Recaro, no stranger to this pitch. She's won multiple NWSL trophies here in Cary. As Debinha taps ahead for Denise O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan back towards Debinha. Comes to Ordonez. Fuka. Williams powers in a long cross, and Hadicic hustled off her line. Did it take a deflection off of Hadicic? It did not. It will be a goal kick.
I believe Hadicic got a touch on it, but Ordonez, she had made her run on the back post, and she ended up putting a head on it as it was sailing out of play. We'll get a look at this here. All of that was set up. That attack by O'Sullivan, that was really strong 1-2 football. And you'll see here, Hadicic got a fingertip on it, and Ordonez, who I'm not sure she knew where the ball was, had it hit her.
Williams. Pickett. Probing ball. Headed out of there, but clearance unsuccessful. Cataline. And an errant cross trickles over the end line for a goal kick. Inside the final 10 minutes of this first 45. Couple of teams vying for postseason positioning. Both teams just below the playoff line with a win. Angel City will move above that playoff line as the Courage supporters shown out in full force here in Cary tonight. They want their side to pick up 3 points. They really need those 3 points to stay in the playoff hunt.
There's an urgency to the North Carolina attack and how they're handling this opening half. They have been knocking on the door almost the entire half.
Ball switched wide towards Debinha, and just a bit out of her reach.
Debinha frustrated with herself. But you've seen the game plan all evening long. Start on the right or the left, and then try and catch Angel City on the opposite flank. There has not been a ton of resistance in the middle to impede those passes. But North Carolina is absolutely playing like a side where tonight the season's on the line. You win this and it opens up a ton of possibilities. You drop all 3 points, then it closes a significant number of doors on you.
This is a side that has played so well as of late, unbeaten in 7 of its last 9. Only 2 losses in that stretch came against Kansas City Current, who currently sit atop the league table.
The way they've played in this regular year, certainly no shame in that.
Right, absolutely.
They're not the only side that has found to have problems against KC.
Well, and Kansas City will be back at it tonight against Chicago Red Stars. Had a match of the utmost importance for these two sides as well, given that Chicago currently sit just above the playoff line. Possession has now evened out. Remember, first 8-9 minutes of this one was in the high 60s in favor of North Carolina Courage.
And that speaks to the ebbs and flows, though, because we've come out of about an 8-minute span where it's been all North Carolina. Here they come again.
Cataline avoids one, but it's Allie Riley who's able to hustle back and boot it out for a throw.
Both sides have had their chances, but North Carolina's opportunities have been significantly more dangerous. And Didi Haracic, if not for heroics from her on 2 different occasions, this could be a much different feel to this match. And that is why you feel so good when you have someone like Didi Haracic in net, because she can do the impossible. And she has absolutely kept this 0-0 so far. 6-4 shots edge in favor of North Carolina.
Haracic nearly had to make another play. See the shots, 6-4 in favor of North Carolina. Emsley, quite the spin as it's rolled ahead to McCaskill. Great read by Williams. As Cataline on her right, Ordonez centrally. It's given to Cataline. Rears back, puts in a low cross. And it's booted away. It was Reed who had the initial interception of the cross.
North Carolina is the quicker team. Angel City is really having trouble with the speed of North Carolina. They are racing every ball. They are pressing. They are trying to get out on the counter. This is a frantic pace. Angel City needs to hang on for the remaining 6 minutes of the half.
Pickett quickly to Debinha. Tried to work it back in the 1-2. Lucy picked up with these. And throw it to the way for Angel City.
It's got to be frustrating for Angel City because everything is contested. Every clearance, every pass, absolutely everything. And you're seeing a dark shirt in front of you. You've got to keep your head if you're Angel City. You're a side that has done well. Put yourself in this position this season because you've kept your head, you've overcome injuries. But man, North Carolina is just full speed ahead. The last thing you want to do is concede right before halftime and deflate this entire thing if you're Angel City.
That's exactly what Angel City did last time out against Houston Dash. They conceded just before the break. They did record the equalizer early in the second half, courtesy of Simone Charlie. But North Carolina, they've knocked on the door on a multitude of occasions. You get the sense that barrage is not done just yet. Emsley. Caro muscles off of it. Ricochets back to Emsley. Paces ahead with Dabinia on her back.
Now, if you're Angel City, you've gotten into the attacking third. You're obviously still trying to swat off North Carolina players. They are all over the place, but again, Angel City equal to the task. They have not become so flustered that they lose their head.
Endo's feed comes directly to the foot of Riley, who threads it for Endo. There's Clarice Lebion. Numbers inside the box. Endo with a little bit of space. Endo with the left! And it's Murphy who has the stop. Nearly came off of Pickett for an own goal. And it's a corner kick.
Boy, that had a ton of pace on it. And you look at the reaction here from Murphy. I think she was surprised at how quickly that got on her. She reacted, but gave up a juicy rebound off of that. Pickett is there. She's there to protect her keeper. She's there to flank Lucy. But she was then surprised how quickly it came to her feet.
And Murphy is able to high point. She took a bit of contact as well. And there's a reason why Murphy has experience with the U.S. national team. Missed some time this year to play in the CONCACAF W Championships, backing up Alyssa Nair. Ordonez streaks after it, and Ordonez was offside.
Yeah, Ordonez started offside, tried to come back to get on, but the ball had already been delivered. It's a pretty easy call, but the right idea. And this is where North Carolina can really hurt you. Angel City had their most prolific opportunity of the match to this point, forcing Murphy into her most difficult save, and perhaps a bit flat-footed after that, saying, all right, good. We found a way. We're attacking now. And then North Carolina comes right back and a half step away from Ordonez once again in a 1v1 situation. I know that North Carolina is obviously a threat to hit you on the counter, but if I'm Angel City, and I've struggled when I've allowed North Carolina to come up the wings this entire first half and generate opportunities, wonder if you might not want to start pressing.
Dabinia working that left wing, taps to Ordonez, one times it, Dabinia second effort, no, and whisked away.
See, this is what I'm saying is you've allowed North Carolina into your attacking half unimpeded the vast majority of the half, and they're so good on the ball. They're going to generate opportunities. You might need to start seeing a pretty aggressive press from Angel City.
1 minute of added time is the indication from our fourth official as we march our way towards the finish line in what has been a thrilling first 45. Caskill tiptoes the touchline and is then whistled for a takedown of Pickett. But Ken, this one has a playoff feel to it.
It
so
absolutely does. It absolutely does. And these sides absolutely know what's at stake and will be the ones to keep an eye on the scoreboard, but don't think they don't know about the other match going on tonight. But again, unimpeded into the attacking half. Here comes North Carolina again.
Jabinia, last gasp effort, winding down this first 45.
In the second half, you've got to find a way to cut off Pickett.
And there is the halftime whistle. And Didi Hadicic did what she had to do in that first half to keep things scoreless. Somehow, some way, she delivered. Critical saves by Hadicic, critical saves by Casey Murphy as well. Both keepers were tested, both up to the task. As we head to the dressing rooms, 0-0 here in Cary, North Carolina. A thrilling first half, two sides vying for a postseason berth in the home stretch of the 2022 NWSL season. We'll have the second half for you in just a bit. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the NWSL live on Twitch.
people in Southeast Raleigh with the goal of developing today's youth into tomorrow's leaders. Want to get involved? You can. Visit Thrifty Gift Store near you to donate or shop. Thrifty Gift has committed 100% of its profits to support the Triangle community, and to learn more, visit seedsofmustard.org.
Some of my most satisfying days is providing care to people that couldn't otherwise get it or afford it. You know, at the end of the day, I'm a child of immigrants. So for me, it's real. It means something.
When I met Dr. Riccobeni, that was one of the things that he said. He said, you're going to do the best care that you can at the best price.
You got to try to do what's right for the people that you treat, and do it in a fashion that is both affordable but gives them the kind of quality that they deserve.
Riccobeni Associates Family Dentistry. Changing lives, one smile at a time.
DJ Mr. Ills, he's up there on the big screen spinning tunes for us every game. I'd also like to say happy birthday to Andy. Happy 16th birthday to Caitlin Britt. Also, happy birthday to Rob and happy 10th birthday to Jennifer. If you'd like to celebrate your birthday with us here at Wake Med Soccer Park, give us a call at 919-459-8144.
Well, what a first half that was. A couple of teams in dire need of 3 points and 8. They're certainly playing like it. John Gross alongside Ken Levicka as we welcome you back into beautiful Cary, North Carolina on this Wednesday evening in the Tar Heel State. A wild first half, albeit a goalless first half, but it was one of those first halves that was just very exciting.
Yeah, 0-0 is not indicative at all of what we saw in the opening half. It was free-flowing. It was wide open. It was an aggressive North Carolina side. At times it was Angel City hanging on for dear life, but had their opportunities. And you see the possession, 52-48. But, John, it felt much more lopsided than that. Angel City did well to pull that aspect back in. Not surprisingly, North Carolina 8-5 shots advantage, but there's the proof of the quality chances for Angel City. Did it seem like they were dangerous a lot? No, certainly not as much as North Carolina, but 3 shots on goal, forcing a Casey Murphy really strong save late in that half, and so I think that's a confidence booster for that side.
Yeah, I think as great as the attacking players have been, you could say the goalkeepers were certainly MVPs in that first half between these two sides. All right, so we've talked about it a lot throughout the match, the importance of this one in terms of getting above that playoff line. You have these two teams really neck and neck in the league standings, which we'll give you a look of right here. You could see 8 spot for Angel City, North Carolina just below them in the league standings. Chicago Red Stars getting set to kick off, but entering today it's 7-8, both just below that playoff line.
Yeah, and that right there, with only a handful of matches left, that's really, truly the battle here. So you've got Chicago. They are just about to get underway against the table toppers. This is a glorious opportunity for Angel City or North Carolina potentially to pick up ground. And for Angel City, if they can find a goal, they launch themselves into that postseason window. This is it right here. North Carolina, you get 3, your season's on. You drop all 3 tonight, then you're going to have major problems.
And North Carolina, a challenging stretch ahead. On deck, they welcome OL Reign on Saturday, although it is Bark in the Park night, which is always a fan favorite. So that
always
should
a
be fun.
boost for the home side.
Yes.
I don't make the rules. That's just how it is.
No, this is a very unscientific non-stat, but I would like to think that home teams are undefeated on Bark in the Park matches. Here's Cataline. Williams. And that cross hops into the chest of Hadicic, who had a major first half. That's always one of my favorite nights, though, as a fan of any sport.
Absolutely. And if you're not a dog person, I'm sorry.
You're missing out.
You're missing out.
Well, the goal scorer last time out for Angel City, Simone Charlie, heads on as Claire Emsley comes off to begin the second half. And Charlie, that goal against Houston Dash was only her first goal of the season. It was quite some time, 21 matches between goals. That was the longest gap between goals in her NWSL career. And Jasmine Spencer also made her way on for Angel City. So a couple of changes for Freya Coombe to start off this second half.
2 players that were in the 11 in the 1-1 draw at Houston, who now enter the fray at halftime. I thought Claire Emsley did a lot in her 45 minutes of action. I thought she was the most dangerous player for Angel City in the opening half. But Freya Coombe looking to go to Simone Charlie, who's feeling good about herself after the goal at Houston. See if you can't generate a little bit more creativity for that side, because it was a lot of 1v1 for Angel City in that first half.
Pickett, lovely through ball, finds Fuka, rolls centrally towards Ordonez, comes back to Dabinia. Now O'Sullivan got a tap on it, and it's worked the other direction. Chance to counter for Angel City. It's Charlie ahead of the pack. Endo on the left. Endo receives in stride. Endo! Back post just wide.
Second time that Endo has had a marvelous opportunity, and Ryan Williams completely overcommitted to the left side and had to come scrambling back. You see her completely turned around Endo, that's a tough angle. Tried to pick out the back post. That's where the netting was going to be. Just missed, but all of that was opened up because Ryan Williams was caught in the middle of the box and couldn't quite recover. Did well enough desperately to help force Endo off the mark. But just when I was going to say at the onset of this half, Angel City is still conceding the flanks, and North Carolina's been eating them up there. Then they nearly hit on the counter, Angel City.
Ryan Williams still carries, dances just beyond the 18. Low blast comes right back to her feet. Cataline, double team comes. Dabinia back to Cataline. Pardon me, that was Fuka to Cataline. Low cross. Works out to Lebion.
Allie Riley's getting a workout on that left side for Angel City.
Dabinia pivots around Reed. Pickett. Cross comes off the side with Spencer, who against Houston made her 150th NWSL appearance.
John, doesn't this just look like more of the same out of the half? Angel City desperately trying to close down on North Carolina attackers as North Carolina really basically does whatever it wants until it gets near the area. But I just feel like Angel City's playing with fire the longer they play off the ball defensively.
Pickett blasts it across, and Hadicic snags it.
There's just so much cushion being given to North Carolina attackers, and they're so good creatively. They're so good when it comes to ideas, and Angel City is allowing them that room to come up with and execute those ideas, and that's going to come back to bite them at some point.
Here's Charlie. Battling with O'Sullivan, who was recently capped by her native Ireland for a couple of matches in World Cup qualifiers.
Now a chance for Angel City to be on the ball for a little bit here. I'm curious to see now with Simone Charlie on how it possibly evolves this attack a little bit.
Again, Charlie was the one who scored the equalizer against Houston Dash over the weekend. It was a long ball that was misplayed in the back by Houston, and Charlie was able to capitalize. Murphy, dangerous back pass, and Pinto has the takeaway. And a score update from Chicago.
A dream start
wow.
for Chicago Red Stars, 2-0 over Kansas City. That's obviously not very good news for either of these two teams here tonight. Now it feels like this is having to keep pace for both sides instead of a chance to go into the top six. Milazzo and Pugh with the goals. Milazzo in the 5th minute and Mallory Pugh in the 8th minute.
Here's Endo. Wide for Spencer. Spencer looping cross in the area of Charlie. Pickett shovels it out of there. Chicago Red Stars, like you said, a dream start. Still early in that first half, so ample time for Kansas City to come back. And if anybody at this point of the season can mount a rally,
Correct.
it's Kansas City the way they've
Correct.
been playing as of late.
But boy, does that change the complexion of this one right here
No
now
doubt.
a bit. Because all of the scenarios in which we've been discussing LA heading into the postseason window, if they can win here tonight, that is right now completely washed.
And with a win, Angel City will move into 6th. Now, if Chicago were to somehow lose against Kansas City, Angel City would move into 5th. But North Carolina doesn't want to think of an Angel City win. In search of the opening goal, it's Debinha. Low cross towards Catalina. The Brazilian connection has done it again. 1-0 NC Courage.
How Brazilian beauty of that play was. And again, we've been talking about it. The flanks, the wings, North Carolina attacking over and over and over again. And man, Debinha and Caroline, what a dynamic duo those two have become. You can see this building up, and finally, North Carolina capitalizes. Ordonez lays it off to Debinha. Caroline just completely under control, left foot, and no chance for Hericic. That's as good as it gets. And I think a very earned 1-0 in favor of the hosts.
6th goal of the season for the 22-year-olds, fresh off of a 2-goal, 2-assist performance. And in the 54th minute, it seemed to be bound to happen, and it has happened. And it's those three, right? We've talked about them all night. Ordonez, Debinha, Cataline. And it's those three who combine for the opening goal.
And I hate to keep harping on it, but Angel City has done little out of the dressing room to address the problems they've had on the edges of the defensive front here tonight. And it finally exploited to a point where they've conceded a goal.
Pickett looking for more. Spencer closed that window in a hurry. Still 35 or so minutes left to play. Do you expect to see either side change things now that a goal has been scored?
Well, you've already made a significant offensive substitution, attack substitution if you're Angel City. So where else does Friacum go? And then I think 10 to 15 minutes from now, if the scoreline is the same, you're going to start seeing on the North Carolina side some defensive substitutions. But for now, the way that you're attacking, right now Angel City doesn't appear to have much on the attack. Why not push for a second? Why not put some cushion between yourself and Angel City?
It's Cataline who races all the way back to the midfield to jar that ball away. The goal scored back in the 54th. Now 6 goals in the season. It's the 3rd assist of the year from Debinha. Now McCaskill and company in search of an answer, and it won't come right here. Quite the challenge from Brianna Pinto. Enjo turns into some space. Charlie had the equalizer over the weekend. Leaves it for Spencer. That's sub to sub. And it's Ursig able to work it out of there. The longtime captain of this team.
Denise O'Sullivan for North Carolina did well to recover on Endo. There was a lot of room for Endo to operate. And O'Sullivan, while finding herself a bit in no man's land, was able to force Endo to distribute the ball as opposed to taking a shot. And we've seen tonight she can put a lot of power behind it, and it led to North Carolina eventually winning possession back.
Here's Simone Charlie. Pinto closes the angle.
That's a
and
yellow.
a physical challenge. Certainly a booking. And it is Brianna Pinto who has been booked.
That is a very obvious card. There was no hesitation from the referee. And those are the types of plays you start seeing in the 58th, 59th minute, nearing the hour mark. It's humid. Your legs are a little heavy and you start grabbing. And now a set piece opportunity for Angel City.
Endo will take it. They put 6 in the box. Endo keeps it short. Gets it right back. Gaskell, back heel, intercepted. Debinha paces forward. One assist already for Debinha. Taps it towards Catalina. It'll stay in the North Carolina half of the pitch. Williams. They're able to switch fields. Williams pops it back to the middle. Was looking for Ordonez making a run. Possession remains with the home side.
Current
Debinha.
yellow card at the 58th minute to number 5, Brianna Pinto.
I'm not sure about that set piece decision for Angel City. I get trying to be unconventional and create, but that almost turned into a disaster.
Pickett, strong feet ahead, found the head of Ordonez. And then ricochets out off of Nielsen. Might have come back off Ordonez at the tail end of it.
Yeah, tough luck there for Ordonez. Good ball in. Ordonez is positioned well, but it hits Nielsen and then strikes Ordonez and rolls out of play. My point with Angel City is when you have a set piece and you have an opportunity to whip it into the box and to force North Carolina to defend, which at times this season it hasn't gone particularly well for them, you opt to play it back and then it turns into a counter-producing turnover. I just feel like you should put yourself in the high percentage chance chasing a goal when you're very much still scrambling and on the back foot.
Things continue to be open to the flanks. Debinha with a head of steam. Debinha options on her right. She'll take it herself. A bit off target. She's pleading that there was a touch. And seemingly to no avail in her discussion with Alex Billeter. Let's look back at this.
So a great run from Debinha, and I don't see a touch there. At least not from that angle. And it might be a bit of hope there from Debinha, that protest. The crowd not happy with that foul that's called.
And blood boils just a bit more amongst the North Carolina supporters after the whistle against Ryan Williams.
Man, Debinha's doing whatever she wants, though, down that left side. I mean, whatever she wants. But it was the same thing with Pickett for North Carolina on that left side in the opening half, where she had all the room she wanted to whip in crosses to her heart's delight. And now it's Debinha just racing towards goal anytime she wants here in this second half.
And there was the goal scorer in the 54th minute. And not only the goal scorer, but really a budding star in this league as she nutmegs Weatherholt.
Well, Freya Coombe took off Tyler Lucy to try and neutralize what North Carolina was doing up that left side, and there you see Pickett now. But Jasmine Spence has not had a whole lot more luck than Lucy did.
Debinha, centrally for Fuka. Weaves it, offers it to Pickett, whose cross comes off the face.
Is that Megan Reed?
Yeah, looks like Reed. And Reed will, understandably so, take some time.
Yeah, take that square off of the face, and you've got the sting. Perhaps you're seeing some spots. Yeah, that's point blank. She was able to turn her head at the last moment, not take it straight to the nose, but yeah, that is one of those, take all the time you need, clear up some of the haze. See Pickett and Ursag. North Carolina is such a different team from what they were the first time these two sides met early in this regular season. See Freya Coombe trying to figure out what's next here. They obviously right now don't have what's occurring in Chicago, or just outside of Chicago.
Melissa Pheasant is checking on Megan Reed, who is normally the one doing the medical work. Megan actually serves as an emergency department technician. Spent some time as a firefighter and EMT. And gets a warm round of applause as she makes her way back on her feet.
Still 2-0 in favor of Chicago over the NWSL leaders, Kansas City right now. 20th minute in Bridgeview. Again, those 2 goals right away. Milazzo and Pugh, 5th and 8th minute respectively.
And I stand corrected, Recaro was the one who was tended to back on the touchline, getting set to re-enter. Good to see for somebody who has become an offensive juggernaut, something that she hadn't been throughout her entire career, including here in Cary. Debinha muscles away from Spencer. Low roller from Debinha, and Hadicic, compared to the other saves she's had to make tonight, relatively easy stop for the keeper.
There's too many giveaways, too much sloppiness on the ball, and North Carolina is pouncing all over it. They have had the urgency tonight. They've been the side that's played with the desperation. And it only then is going to, it's only going to enhance as you get later and later into this match. And fatigue starts to set in.
Keteline taps it through Williams, puts it across, back out to Keteline. Keteline has the difference-making goal. Williams whips it across, back to Debinha. Thought about striking, instead rolls it towards Ordonez, and is cleared beyond the 6 towards Charlie. Williams, who's been very active, pressing forward from that fullback spot. That high press continues to cause major issues for the visitors.
It sure does. Right now, I think it's safe to say North Carolina is in control. That's probably an understatement.
Angel City, led by some crucial saves from Didi Hadicic, have done just enough to stay 1-0. Will that change here as Ordonez attempt to the header, well defended, and Hadicic disposes of it quickly. Recaro. Unfazed on that turn attempt from Charlie.
Good to see Recaro back out there after taking that cross to the side of her face.
Recaro, who was named to the August Best 11 in the NWSL. Caroline, contact from behind. It's a clean challenge from Allie Riley. And now a whistle. And it's Clarice Lebihan who was the culprit.
Been a frustrating night for her. She hasn't really been able to generate anything in the attack. She's upset with the foul call there. But this is what happens when North Carolina continue to send waves and waves and waves of pressure, the high press. They are really making life difficult. Angel City has not been able to deal with it all evening long, and frustrations now are starting to mount.
And it's been this barrage of press and no substitutes for Sean Nahas. He said they don't have the luxury of rotating. They need their best horses out there. This in spite of 3 matches in 7 days for North Carolina. Debinha lets it rip. Debinha spins it just wide. Talk about ambitious, but hey, why not?
I will say, this is part of the reason that I adore watching her play, because the ideas that go through her brain, her soccer mind is so creative. And there, she sees that Didi Hericic is cheating a little bit, is a bit off her line, and decided to give it a go. And again, the high press.
Oh my, O'Sullivan tracked down by Spencer, leaves it left for Ordonez, puts across, it's spun on frame, inside out, it just a touch wide. The creativity from Cataline is elite.
Debinha is an artist, Caroline is an artist. And she pulled that one out of her bag of tricks. A little toe poke from distance, and it had really good pace on it. But Angel City is under siege. They are absolutely under siege. North Carolina is doing whatever it wants. Angel City has got to win about 3-4 minutes of possession here, get under control, because North Carolina is running roughshod. A second goal, you can feel it coming right now. But man, John, how fun are Debinha and Caroline now that they have formed a bond, a connection on the pitch. They play off of one another so well.
It's Cataline who has whistled, but you're right, and it's taken some time, and understandably so. A lot of new faces in this club. Sean Nahas pointed out, but he said that they're playing together as a group, and they understand the roles better, talking in general as a team. And that duo in particular, they are special. Jasmine Spencer left relatively unmarked. Her feed comes off the foot of Pinto. Crunching tackle from Recaro. And Debinha is looking for a bit more than just a whistle.
I'm not sure there was much intent there. We'll take a look at this here, but, well, getting another look at that. I do think from that angle, maybe the second angle, I think Recaro had a right to that ball, and I think it was more ball contact legs of Debinha that sent her flying than legs on legs or anything particularly dangerous.
Cataline, Williams. The ball's back to Cataline. Quick touch, feeds Williams. Williams towards Debinha. Trying to scorpion kick it on frame. Pinto. Williams. And the creativity this final third has been something to watch tonight for North Carolina. And now Angel City, a golden chance to counter. Rolled ahead for Charlie. Simone Charlie looking for another equalizer. And Urseg marking her stride for stride. Goal kick on the way.
Ooh, Kaylee Kurtz nearly made a really, really inopportune mistake. She just retreated from pursuit of that ball and left an entire 1v1 left side situation where you have room to operate if you're Simone Charlie. But Charlie ended up with a heavy touch. It was escorted out of play. But that was a little bit of a nerve-wracking and nail-chewing situation there for North Carolina, who have absolutely dominated this second half. I understand Kurtz wanting to try and defend a trailer, but there was nobody there, and she's got to be aware of that, and she needs to come help defensively instead of racing off and away from the ball. North Carolina got away with it.
Vaccaro launches ahead. Riley tracks after it. Throw another way. Mary Taylor enters for Allie Riley. Taylor, who did not play against Houston, the rookie, who was the 39th pick in the 2022 NWSL draft, enters for Allie Riley.
Mary Taylor, someone who can push forward, acclimate herself into a potential Angel City attack. Boy, we have not seen Angel City in the attacking third very much in this second half. This is one of the few times we've seen them there.
Caskell leaves it for Mary Taylor, who is quickly whistled offside. It's an awesome mustache, if I do say so myself.
It is well put together. We'll put it that way.
Sean Nahas and company hoping to hold on. Just 16 minutes plus stoppage time before securing a critical 3 points. Taylor caught up momentarily, now is taken down by a pair of Courage players, and a free kick on the way. Kurtz the one whistled. Kurtz, who has played every minute this season, and now a free kick in a pretty dangerous area. We'll see what Angel City decide to do with it.
Things look clean right up until the final moment. Fine there, and then it was Kurtz who brought her legs across the path of Taylor that drew the foul. That was the right call, but it didn't come until late in that sequence.
Savannah McCaskill boots it ahead. Lofted ball towards the back post, popped to the middle, and cleared out of there. And now Jabinia looks to put this one on ice. Jabinia marked by Spencer, and what a win by Jasmine Spencer.
Read that well, had to range a long way back and then made it look pretty easy, especially considering how electric Jabinia has been in the second half.
McCaskill, long range go, flutters just off target. And it took 76 minutes, but Sean Nahas will make a change, and it is a bit of a defensive change as Gianna Ordonez comes off, and Merritt Mathias, who entered in the 76th minute against Racing Louisville, comes on to the 76th minute against Angel City.
So now you start to think about, how do you see this through? This is the time to do it. And as you said earlier, North Carolina doesn't exactly have the depth or the luxury to start going deep into their substitution pool. But Mathias will provide some physicality and allow them to maybe slow this match down a bit. It still seems like North Carolina is content trying to push ahead, though, and give themselves goal-scoring opportunities. This is truly the first time in this half, though, where it feels like Angel City has tilted the field back towards the North Carolina goal. We haven't seen that since the first half.
Fuka rolls for Cataline, who has the difference-making goal back in the 54th. Fuka, Williams. Space to place it across. Now Endo marks her. Williams plays one through. Endo, can she clear it off the end line? She can.
Got it done the second time.
Score update from the Windy City. Chicago Red Stars still lead 2-0, 33rd minute against league-leading Kansas City. Williams being held from behind. They play on. Matthias, physical challenge on Taylor. If this result stands, North Carolina Courage will remain in 8th place, but just 1 point back of Angel City for that 7 spot. Of course, it's the top 6 who make it to the postseason, but these two teams with 4 matches remaining after this one.
Still plenty of the story to be told, that is for sure.
Debinha. Matthias, the only substitute for North Carolina. Lovely ball. Hadicic, a better save. Debinha tried to put things on ice, and Hadicic, the hero once again.
Keep those hands.
That is perfection on the delivery, and the reaction time from Hadicic, superb. Not many keepers are going to stone Debinha unmarked 6 yards from goal. But Hadicic saw where this was headed, understood her defense was beaten. Man, is that a perfectly placed ball. But Hadicic did the right thing, cut off the angle, and is able to deposit the ball out of play.
Cataline shields it. Cataline rips. Puts it into the side of the netting. And you go back to that last header from Debinha. Debinha is 5'2". She got up there.
And she put pace behind it as well. It was one of the byproducts, though, of the defender being beaten so badly, Debinha being so unmarked, is that Hadicic got a good look at where the ball was headed and understood that it was not going to be her defender that was going to get a touch. She was going to have to go 1v1 against Debinha through the air, and that allowed her to set herself. Good vision.
As you can see, you can catch that Chicago Red Stars Kansas City current match right now on the NWSL Official 2 Twitch stream. Williams with Debinha running centrally, and Hadicic snags it.
Hadicic is upset, and I understand why. Self-inflicted wounds for Angel City, and it nearly led to a second goal. Hadicic is saying, you've got to be more crisp. How are we even going to mount an attack if we can't get it out of our attacking third? And if it wasn't for a touch on the cross, Debinha might have had another delivery right at the crown of her head that this time she wouldn't miss on.
Nielsen somehow sneaks it through to Weatherholt. Weatherholt ahead for Charlie. Charlie takes some contact just outside the 18. No whistle, though, from Alex Billeter.
I think Charlie initiated that contact. They were very even at the ball, and I think the referee is going to claim that Simone Charlie was the one who threw her body into the defender. And it's tough because it comes in a very disputed area right at the edge of the 18, but I thought that was the right call. At least initially looked like Charlie was the one who tried to make the contact. We'll see it again here. Charlie comes up on this ball, and yeah, she's trying to sell the contact up against Abby Urseg, and came across the front of her. I think it's the right call, no whistle.
A crucial matchup, both teams just below the playoff line. As it stands, North Carolina Courage would remain in 8th, but just 1 point back of Angel City. Weatherholt and company look to change that. Taylor's cross comes off of Matthias for a corner.
I think Endo is a bit banged up. She went down. You may have seen her at the bottom of your screen. Slow to get up. She is up now. Not sure if she took a knock or fatigue is setting in with Endo.
5th corner kick of the night for Angel City. Charlie heads, comes off the foot of Matthias, and Kurtz rolls it out of the 18. But it's Recaro who keeps it for the visitors. Endo. And throwing it away for the home side. back and forth battle in terms of quality chances. A fun matchup.
John, you saw who it was back there, that one possession back for North Carolina, and that's Carolini. She is absolutely everywhere. Super active player, and she does it with such fluidity. She is on you constantly. What a star in the making she is.
There is Cataline. 6 goals in the year now after scoring in the 54th. A little stop and go, but the seasoned veteran Spencer is unfazed. Spencer, who is in her 151st NWSL appearance, is like, I've seen that before.
Been there, done that. Caroline, really enjoy watching her play.
Tabinia weaves her way free. Tabinia, low roller, is wide. And another change for Freya Coombe as Weatherholtz comes off and Lily Nabet, the LA native, will enter in her place. The 9th appearance of the season for Nabet, the rookie out of Duke, playing back in the general area of her college. Carey, of course, very close to Durham. Caskill goes down. And Billinger, Alex Billinger will slow down play a bit.
Coming out of the game, number 17, Danny Weatherholt. Coming in, number 28, Lily Nabet.
There's still time here for Angel City. That's the thing. The job's not done. As good a second half as North Carolina has played, Angel City has found a way to keep itself within a goal.
Ball struck ahead, and Matthias rolls it out for a throw.
No panic there from Matthias. That was well done. Her back is to oncoming Angel City attackers and has the wherewithal to know where Endo is and know that she can send it out of play for a throw as opposed to conceding a corner. That was well done.
Carolina getting ready to make a couple of changes. Meredith Speck getting set to enter for Fuka, and Jaylene Daniels ready to head on for the hero tonight in Cataline. The matchup between clubs with some star power ownership. Naomi Osaka, a co-owner of North Carolina Courage. The great Serene Williams, an investor of Angel City. Major tennis flavor in this one, and it's been back and forth of that nature. And here is the change as Speck comes on, Daniels comes on, and Fuka and Cataline come off. And those two were certainly dynamic in that final third tonight.
If you want to go with tennis vernacular in the spirit of Naomi Osaka and Serena Williams, Caroline was an ace tonight. She was superb in every aspect. We were just praising her about getting back on defense and being a pest, but her creativity, the way that she flows with Dabinia and the rest of that North Carolina attack, her sheer ability, and a well-deserved goal for her, and a well-deserved 1-0 advantage for North Carolina. There's still work to do if you're the hosts. Angel City always dangerous. In this now threatened, unbeaten stretch, they have found a way. That's the best way to put it.
This team unbeaten in its last 5 are Angel City, but as you said, that streak in major jeopardy. Although last weekend they were down 1-0 at halftime. They got an early goal to equalize, and one of the things that Freya Coombe pointed out about that match, she said she was very pleased with that mentality that they showed to get back into that game, and they still have time to do that again tonight. Here's Clarice Lebihan. Charlie back to Lebihan. Just not on the same page as her European counterpart, Mary Taylor.
This feels like Angel City's a bit out of ideas. It's going to require a major North Carolina mistake for Angel City to find a goal. North Carolina, and this is what we were discussing in earlier portions of this match, the fact that North Carolina is so aggressive defensively, daring Angel City to go and beat them on the counter, pressing so desperately this entire match. It takes a toll once you hit this part, and it seems like Angel City is out of gas and out of ideas, which really go hand in hand. And North Carolina now just a couple of minutes away from seeing through to 3 points at home again.
Angel City have gone 44 minutes without a shot on goal in this half. Jabini from a nearly impossible angle finds the woodwork.
My goodness. I mean, that was a sharp angle.
Offside is the call.
I was wondering what the end game for Debinha was going to be, and she decided to let it rip from about 7 yards from an acute angle, and as you said, hit the woodwork.
Well, that duo, they were on the score sheet quite a bit last week. Debinha and Cataline both recorded a brace. The first time in NWSL history that teammates born outside the U.S. recorded a brace in a single match. The 8th time that had happened in league history in general, regardless of birth country. But that Brazilian duo continues to make major noise for North Carolina. As Murphy, who has had a very quiet second half, is able to scoop it up. 3 minutes of out of time, signaled in by your 4th official, John Macho.
Getting close to the half, just outside of Chicago. 2-0 Red Stars still over the leaders in the NWSL, Kansas City. So in real time, North Carolina now just 1 point back of Angel City in the table. Angel City sitting 7th, North Carolina sitting 8th.
Both these teams with 4 matches remaining. Both these teams also have a game in hand compared to most of the league. In fact, compared to some teams, 2 games in hand. So they have their opportunities to make up this deficit.
Well, this is obviously a big blow to Angel City. But North Carolina with a loss would have been a bigger blow to them and their postseason chances. Now it is full intrigue. North Carolina has now put itself 4 points clear of 9th place Orlando.
Daniels trapped in the corner. And a throw and awarded to Angel City. And if this result stands, a sigh of relief for the folks down at the nation's capital, Washington Spirit. Their postseason hopes will remain alive, barring an Angel City miraculous comeback for a win. Washington Spirit still certainly with their work cut out for them. Made that mid-season coaching change. But here in Cary, North Carolina, just seconds remain before the home side can celebrate a fruitful result.
A very professional effort from North Carolina tonight. Absolutely knew what they had to do tactically. Oh, this is
Dabinia turned away by Hadicic. Hadicic still off her line. Second effort comes off of Reed. You cannot fault the effort of Dini Hadicic whatsoever tonight. She has been a standout for Angel City.
And she has been a wall for Dabinia. But what an outstanding effort. Tactically, North Carolina had an identity. From second one, they followed it, it led to a goal, and it's going to lead to 3 points in the table.
Just waiting for that final whistle from our match referee, Alex Billiter. North Carolina Courage entered tonight with just one loss in its last 5 matches, unbeaten in 7 of its last 9. And after 90-plus minutes tonight, they are en route to unbeaten in 8 out of 10. And there is the whistle. North Carolina Courage pick up win number 7. Sean Nahas' squad remain hot, hot, hot as this season winds down, and they continue their chase for a postseason squad push, courtesy of that woman, Cataline, the 22-year-old. She is young, but she is skilled and a star in the making. A 6th goal of this season as North Carolina Courage pick up a 1-0 win, and Angel City still very much in the thick of things. Ken, your final thoughts on this?
I thought that there was just a blast of Brazilians tonight for North Carolina. That was enough to get it done. Caroline, we know she's outstanding. She's quality. Dabinia, the veteran, she is always electric. The North Carolina attack was overwhelming, hitting the flanks, probing, and finally able to hit. This was as good as it's going to get from North Carolina. Is it 5-1 like last time out? No. But was it under control?